Detroit has always been a place of magic to me. After hearing over and over and over again about how bad things were in Detroit, it's like, come on, man, this is not the real narrative. This is not the truth. And so when I seen the world slinging mud at it, it was like, yo, you gotta change this up. Put a positive light on Detroit. And you know, the first thing was like, we gotta say this thing differently. And I came up with 313, which is a spin on our area code. And I made some merchandise and it didn't sell, flopped. I'm thinking to myself, damn, this was supposed to work. What in the hell am I gonna do? I literally just started doodling Detroit things. New Detroit, old Detroit. I sketched Detroit Raised Me. The East Side Raised Me design took fire. And I was able to leverage the success of that design for our first store downtown on Jefferson and Shane. You always hear how every experience in your life is to get you to where you are, and it seems so cliché, but it's really, really real. I had my first job at 11 in Detroit. The man that I worked for, he owned a candy store. When you're 11, it's like a dream job, right? This is Detroit history, seriously. Seriously, man. It's a birthday journal, and I'm gonna see if I can find mine. You know, I learned the difference between wholesale and retail very early. That was a big deal, and I wish Letty was here to see this. You know, he took a lot of pride in me applying the lessons that he imparted into me, so, yeah. My father told me when I was 13, son, listen, you're 13 now, you have to make every decision as if no one can help you. No one can help you. It's all on you now. I was 13, but I grew up fast. Growing up in poverty, you don't see the version of what you want to be. You don't have no one to teach you. And so that's what I'm intentional about doing with this.
I mean, you have a picture of it, almost you as a 11-year-old kid.
You weren't supposed to notice that. And don't get me wrong, it ain't been all hell. I got some great people in my life that taught me some dope stuff. Scott Milledge, a master tailor. A master, I think, is an understatement. Back then, I would take the shirts and have him make patches and sew those onto things. And then one day he's like, listen, you can do this. I'm like, Scott, I don't need to know how to sew, man. I'll pay somebody to do that. He's like, no, you're gonna have to learn how to do this if you want to get this done. And I'm like, but man, I'll pay you double, triple. Before I know it, I'm sitting down at a sewing machine. He's like over me, moving my hands. I'm in the seat now. I sewed the line, it's like, damn, I guess I can do this, right? I was fortunate enough because I did so much before I learned the basics that most people do. When I was humble and I had to go back down, I had to learn all these things over, I was able to learn from masters. Detroit is a battleground for creativity, man. It's hard to impress people in Detroit. It's hard to out-create in Detroit. Whether that's fashion, art, music, or entertainment, you really, really have to be that deal. Detroit Hustle Harder, they're a 10-year-old company. Detroit versus Everywhere, I think they're an 8-year-old company or 7-year-old company or something to that effect. And so you have all these different brands that's promoting what's dope about Detroit consistently, every day, for 5, 10, 15 years, and it's catching up now. I use this store as a platform to organically push and promote local brands and designers and creatives. And that's what I always tell customers. This isn't a store that sells Detroit on things. It's connection, right? It's connection to culture here. And so to have an avenue of fashion in Detroit, I kind of feel like this is a special place. It's just a special place geographically, like, that's a worldwide destination.